My name is Kevin Rothschild-Shea. I'm an architect and president of ArchitectureEL. And we are excited to continue our work up here in the city of Holyoke, where we are working on a number of buildings across town, really working to improve the spaces for all of the occupants, the kids, the children in school, etc. So I can give a quick rundown on some of the projects we have, if that's okay. So here we are in the Holyoke Children's Museum and Volleyball Hall of Fame. We're standing in front of the recently opened Marcotte exhibit, which is a fantastic exhibit for the kids in town. Also a friend and a longtime supporter of the Children's Museum. And they're also a client of ours and one that we've had a wonderful long-time relationship with. Most importantly, here at the Children's Museum and the Hall of Fame, we are working on the roof here. This is a building that the staff will tell us has been leaking for some time. There are buckets strewn about in the offices upstairs. It really impacts the staff, the personnel, their ability to do their job and deliver a good service to the children and people of the city. So we have just are going into contract mode now. We have a contractor getting ready to mobilize, and we are going to put a brand new roof on this building. We're going to fix the parapet, and there's a penthouse that is leaking. We're going to reclad that. So while it's not the most glorious project in the world, it is extremely important, as are a bunch of others that we have going in town. We, with numerous city departments and officials, we're working with Holyoke Engineering and DPW. We're working with the Holyoke School Department and Holyoke Housing Authority on a whole variety of projects. So what people don't see is all this work that goes on behind the scenes to maintain, to improve, and to support and continue good operation and good functionality of these buildings. So here, the roof, as we said, super important to keeping this space dry and functional and performing for our staff and for our children. Similarly so, at DPW, we are replacing the roof over the office. We have some skylights on a turn-of-the-century building that are in near failure and need significant maintenance and improvement. And that's critical just to the city's infrastructure. These things are always going on behind the scenes to keep our buildings functioning and running for the city employees, which then directly improves the life for all the occupants in town. The City Hall Annex, another structure directly adjacent to the historic City Hall. It houses all of the city offices for building and planning and a whole host of others. And they perform critical functions to the operation of the city to get buildings built and permitted and inspected. And there again, we are repairing the roof and the masonry and the parapets and skylights that bring light into the central stair halls, elevator penthouses and cladding and electrical and HVAC. All these things are being upgraded as a part of that project. And without that, this building would fall into disrepair and really critically impact the ability for the people and the employees of the city to do their job. One of our more interesting projects is up at in the City Hall, the City Council chambers. It's a historically important space. It's recognized on the state listing of historic places. And this is a space, while historic, also has a layout which may harken back to older times and different ways of doing business. So the important thing we're trying to do there and work with the city councilors on is to design a space that serves the city councilors and the business that they must conduct for the city. And it also changes the seating and the opportunity for the citizens to attend, participate in the governing of the city, and it also changes the relationship between the people and the city councilors. So when we're designing, we're not just drawing pictures or drawing walls or making boards. In design and architecture, we're trying to create spaces that help government, that impact government. It impacts people and their relationship with the government, because we know these city councilors are all elected by the people and working hard to service the people and take care of them. So projects like that we really enjoy. They're historically significant, they're beautiful, but at the core of it, they really have an important role in our society. We also have enjoyed some some great work and great relationships with the Holyoke School Department. The work there has included entrances, vestibules, security. We up at Sullivan School, we are looking forward to seeing a new pavilion canopy come for the new basketball court that went in just in front of the school. So that is on order and being fabricated. We were at Sullivan School also last week. We are looking to do some air conditioning and HVAC upgrades there for both the cafeteria and the gymnasium, as well as some rooftop and some equipment and metal and waterproofing kind of tasks. So that is really critical and important because that will bring some of the only and first conditioned air and air conditioned space into the school. And we're looking at some of these systems that are original to the buildings. We are looking at replacing air conditioning and heating and ventilating systems that are upwards of 40 and 50 years old or more. So while the school department and engineering does a great job, they have a lot of schools and lots of tasks to tend to. We have another project where we have up at Dean and Morgan School, we're putting in some new ventilation. One of the important things to note is a lot of this money comes from either state or federal sources. A lot of it follows COVID and other state mandates and federal mandates where they're trying to bring fresh air and ventilation air into schools, both because it's healthy and especially post-COVID, it's very important to exchange the air and keep fresh air in the buildings. So in this case, the students and the staff benefit by having also air-conditioned spaces. And they can also serve the public as cooling spaces in the heat wave in the summertime. So all these programs have dual functions and they're not limited to just the school department. The other projects, we're also happy to have the opportunity to work with the Holyoke Housing Authority. We were just awarded a house doctor contract. That's kind of an open contract that says we and other engineers and architects are available and qualified to help them solve any myriad of problems that they might have. So they basically call on this slate of architects and engineers to address different problems in different buildings as needed. So our first hope is to work with Holyoke Housing at the Rosary Towers building. And there again, we're looking at replacing flooring, painting the common area, replacing and painting the ceilings, and upgrading handicap accessible showers, I think in 6 of the units right at the core of the building. So that makes this and improves accessibility for people with differing needs and physical limitations. It ensures good balanced housing for people of all differing backgrounds. And it continues to maintain and improve the public housing stock that's available here for all the people that take advantage of it. So we've been really happy and fortunate to participate at all these different levels that serve everywhere from government to the people that live here. And these are little things that go on behind the scenes. They're not glorious. You don't really see them on the cover of a magazine, but we architects and engineers are working on these projects all across this city and in cities across in towns across the state. So it's they're really important, and like I said, they're not glorious, but they are really important, and they do make a difference both in government and the people's lives in town.
Now, while these projects take a lot of effort, a lot of planning, and particulars about the grounds, the spaces, the operation of the spaces themselves, how long usually takes to do a work, especially when it is, for some of these structures, even long overdue? How much time it takes to complete this project?
It takes a long time from the beginning to the end. It's a complicated process. We would hope it might be simpler, but the state has guidelines to ensure that the money is invested and spent correctly. We have to follow bid law, bid protocol in terms of fair and competitive bidding, which best represents the people's use of money across the state and within the city. So some projects could be a year or more. We've had lots of competition out there. So what what typically might happen is the city of Holyoke or the client would come to us and ask us to renovate a roof or upgrade the city council, or to replace carpet and paint and lighting in a housing structure. We would typically write a proposal defining our service. Once our contract is established, then we inventory and measure the building, we design and specify everything that's required, and then we have to put it out to bid according to public bid protocol, which takes weeks too. We have to post it, then you advertise for 2 weeks, then we have a walkthrough where all the contractors that are interested come out and look at it. And then we have to take bids, we have to analyze the bids, we have to certify the bids, and then the city has to write a contract. So just the bid piece alone could be a couple months just to digest the process and get a contract awarded. So it's a little heavy on the red tape, but it's really important to ensure that we use the public money correctly and appropriately. And people should have confidence in that. It can be frustrated, but they should know that that's to everyone's best interest, to know that the state is not willfully and wantonly tossing away their hard-earned money and taxpayer dollars, right? And then once that happens, then we get to finally build it. And then the construction could take anywhere from 3 to 12 to 15 months or more, depending on the size and the type of the project. So these projects live a long life behind the scenes, often before people see a crane show up or workers appear at a building, or they even get to work in an office maybe that doesn't have a leaky roof. So it can be frustrating and challenging while they wait for that new roof to come in. But there are all these steps and protocols that are put in place to ensure that we all do the right best job for the city of Holyoke and the people that live here.